In these days of moral hypocrisy, certain valuable commodities can be hard to import.
Donald, you just shut up and listen, and you might learn something. Now, nothing brings down real estate prices quicker than a good old-fashioned
Gang war. Apart from an outbreak of
plague or something.
It tastes just like chicken, but somehow more, sentient.
And you might learn something.
It tastes just like chicken, but somehow...
Donald Love is the multi-billion-dollar mystery man who we've all come to theorize and have our own opinions of. His missions he gives Claude are thought-provoking without any real answer or meaning to them. He comes around to see Claude as a great advantage to his battle against the Colombian cartel. His relationship with Claude seems to be very different than the other mission givers, as it seems like he's his only son or student. As evidence of this, Kenji Kassin, a former mission giver, seem to be parallel with Claude on the mutual respect level, but not in the personal level like Donald Love is to Claude. I think the reason Donald Love treats Claude so well is because he had a similar thing going on with Avery Carrington.
You just shut up and listen, and you might learn something.
While not perfect, Donald Love would not be a single step near where he would be if it wasn't for him. And while it didn't end on the best level, at least it happened.
That is good.
This is about all that Donald Love has for redeemable qualities about him. Now let's look at who Donald Love truly is as a person, or lack thereof. If you have a unique commodity, the world and his wife will try to wrestle it from your grasp, even if they have little understanding as to its true value. This quote cannot be any more true than for Claude's story. Catalina's main oversight with Claude was that she underestimated his abilities, and she also didn't anticipate that he would give the world to see her head on a spike. So why am I mentioning this? Why does this quote matter in the slightest? It's because Donald Love read Claude like a fucking book. This is why Donald Love is so much more terrifying than Catalina will ever be. In the 9 years that she was with Claude, she couldn't even understand his simple morals. An often overlooked line is,
"Did you turn up to rescue Maria or to get me back?"
"He came here to kill you." Well, yeah, I know she's an idiot, but that's not the point though. It's because in the short time Donald met Claude, he read his whole timeline. He knew what he was going to do next. And what does Claude do next? He kills his employer. I think the main reason Donald left was because whatever Claude touches turns to dust. Every employer either he kills or turns up dead. Donald was smart in leaving Liberty City and going to Carcer's. Before we get to that, he has a lot of aspects of greed in him. Sometimes he'll drive down property by doing some pathetic gang war. Another good nod to this is that he owns every single radio station. That's not a wrong thing, it just seems really odd.
I'm coming back to the blast. I'm coming back to the blast.
My favorite trait by far is his manipulative and puppet master-like abilities. He'll know what, when, and where his enemies will be without even being anywhere near them. While quite a lot of mission givers have the same trait like Asuka or Kenji, they all fall victim to Donald's wrath. They fail to get their own goals by manipulating and puppet mastering the situation their way, which Donald Love almost does to perfection. Also, while Donald Love may treat Claude like a son, he does a lot of the dirty work, more than mission givers will probably ever get around to. To summarize, Donald Love is a megalomaniacal psychopath who is powerful and manipulative. While I think his greatness does not completely shine in GTA 3, it shines more in the theories of where he went. This is why GTA 3 is one of the best games of all time. It raises questions, and it doesn't tell you what. Something 4, 5, and 6 will never live up to is the greatness of 3, and its mysteries that it will never uncover. In a quite difficult challenge, we see Donald Love has disappeared along with his old Oriental gentleman friend, who we pretty much know nothing about, so I won't be covering too much about him. We see Claude on the top of the Love Media building with the Pulp Fiction box. Defeated, Claude leaves without a sight of Donald Love, and he's gone, just like that.
My God, this is good. It tastes just like chicken, but somehow more,
Sentient.
Donald Love is a confirmed cannibal by the game and by devs. I have two theories on who this person he could be eating. The first one is his mentor Avery Carrington. The other one is the former Liberty City mayor, who Donald Love was running against. I would like to mention that Donald Love did lose this election, but that doesn't matter since he's clearly more powerful than the Liberty City mayor title could ever be. I believe one of, if not the most heinous act that he's ever committed is the destruction of Fort Staunton with innocent lives being lost.
Now, I'm a decent guy.
Taskmaster has begun to bore me.
While Tony Cipriani did carry out this evil act, but Love is still quite responsible for the destruction of all these people's lives. And the only reason he's doing this is almost as depressing as the event itself. Real estate prices are the main reason he committed this terrorist attack. Yes, you could say Tony Cipriani did carry out this act of terrorism, but then this becomes a matter of philosophy. Now, if we are going to talk about philosophy and the lack Donald Love has, it's more better explained in the death of Avery Carrington. Donald once again enlists the help of Tony to kill Avery Carrington, and for him to deliver his body so Donald Love can eat him. Avery was helping the Colombians in making a redevelopment plan for Fort Staunton when Donald died. Therefore, years of mentorship and relationship between Donald and Avery was destroyed because of some blueprints. I told you this shit was gonna get weird. While many websites state that he is a possible necrophiliac, I could not find much evidence to back this up. If you do have any evidence or even a slight bit of dialogue that hints to this, please let me know in the comments section below. One small bit of evidence I found to support this necrophiliac theory is, in Liberty City stories there were a lot of references to a morgue party. Unfortunately, researching this is on the same equivalence as looking up what happened at the Diddy party. In all seriousness, I want this video to be as engaging as possible. If you have your own wild theories like mine, please leave them in the comment section below. Your theory is as good as mine. Contrary to popular belief, it does boost engagement and helps me get a better sense of what I'm talking about. Before we get to the reason of why you clicked on this video, if you can't already tell, I do suck at video essays like this one. They take up too much of my time and they're just not the thing for me. I treated this video how it was, a massive discovery for me that I wanted to share with all of you. For those who've made it to this part of the video and for those who haven't, thanks. Without further ado, let's get on to my favorite part of the video. Mr. Nasty is an aforementioned character who is a financial backer of Valiant Video Enterprise. Already we have some similarities with Donald Love in the money department. Mr. Nasty is also probably the person who pulled some strings in the background of Manhunt's events. After the death of Starkweather and his empire, many websites say that Mr. Nasty was kidnapped and prosecuted. That is quite a meaningless and pathetic end for such a character of this man's stature. But I digress. So what theories are there to support that Donald Love is this crazy killer? Their basic traits pretty much align with them both being financial enough to support multiple businesses. Both are very experienced with manipulative skill bases and sets. Both seem oddly fascinated in human bodily things. My personal favorite one is that they line up at pretty much the exact same time. This one might be a stretch, but they just kind of look similar, like their build is the same. And of course, the final one to make this at least all possible is that their universes are clearly connected. This is one of the rare arguments where you could clearly argue for both sides. One other side note that I did not take into consideration is if someone could tell me what the hell the Oriental gentleman really means, maybe that could clear up some stuff on both sides. To clearly summarize this video up in a couple of sentences, both characters leave you with just enough to keep you wondering. This is how you write two very well and beloved characters. You make your audience write the story and only give little bits as you go and make other games. So, is Mr. Nasty Donald Love? Even if Donald Love is not Mr. Nasty, he's still the closest character who relates to him by far. I do think all these events are too much to be clearly coincidental. If you want a guy on the internet's opinion, I don't think Mr. Nasty really has an identity, and Donald Love's mystery will never be solved. But if you do believe in this theory I cobbled together, you're certainly more than welcome to. That's what Rockstar wants you to do, is believe other theories, place them together, and make them your own story. That's what Donald Love, Claude, Mr. Nasty, and GTA 3 are meant to be. You sat through 10 minutes of me talking? What the fuck is wrong with you? In all seriousness, I don't really want to be a 2010s guy, but thanks a lot for 400 subscribers. This genuinely means a lot to me. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. Not that I don't, it just makes me feel good about myself. Why shouldn't it? I had to take a year off because this year has been the most busiest year of my life. I got my license. I'm finding jobs now. I remember when I first started this channel, I actually used overlays as the main video. I was debating taking my old videos down, and I honestly still am. But they're a part of my history, and they've shown how much I've grown over the past, 2 years? Another reason I'm probably not going to take them down is because they just don't really matter to me. I don't see them, I don't think about them, except for that one, but we don't talk about that thing. And if you scroll through my videos, you can see that I'm in a much better place than I was at least a year ago. Oh my god. I didn't burn out. I didn't quit. I just stopped. And then one of those videos hit 100K and I was like, Jesus Christ, the algorithm's fucked. I think that Rise of Kingdoms one got me actually like 200 subscribers. That thing's worth half of my channel. It's like that one baby that you just want to kick. It's not like... My plans for this future are so uncertain. I don't think I'll make any money off this channel, and I never ever planned on it. But the thrill of talent and originality I'm getting feels really good. I know that's a weird one to explain. You'll have to make a channel yourself to get it. I was probably originally going to make this its own video, but like, I'm not weird. I'm not depressed. I don't feel like a need to do that. I don't need a video talking about myself. That's weird. You're not cool. Maybe like a year ago I would. I was not a good person a year ago. I'm not saying I am now, but I'm way better than I was. I don't really like this channel. In fact, I kind of despise it. I look at it as a failed child. Something I created and failed along the way. Many people would say as long as you had fun doing it, none of that really matters. While I did have fun with it, that fun's gone. Why does it matter now? Because it doesn't. It never will. But anyway, the plans for this channel are so uncertain, I genuinely can't tell you what I'm making next in my CapCut folder. But one thing that does matter to me is that you watched this video. Someone watched it to the end. That's weird to me. That's so foreign. 400 people are loyal. That's weird. Let's say you got in front of a stage in front of these 400 people you don't really know, but you like. What would you do? Me, I'd run out of the stage and cry because I'm scared, and you're clearly expecting something from me, which I really hope I delivered with this video. Well, the video's ended, so I guess I'll just end this here. I'm sure I won't need to come back to this at all.